My name is Debbie Reynolds. They call me the Data Diva. Today, I want to talk about data privacy and the United Kingdom's age-appropriate design code. So the age-appropriate design code is actually passed as a law in 2020, and it went into full effect in 2021 in September. And the purpose of this age-appropriate design code is to put out a framework so that companies or businesses that use data of individuals who are under the age of 18, that they have more guidance in terms of how they design things in sort of a privacy-centric way. So basically this particular code would apply to any company that uses data of someone who's in the EU that is under the age of 18. So that could be, game developers, education tech folks, people who are sending or having children look at videos. Also, one thing is that this particular thing is not just for people who develop technologies that are aimed at children. It is basically any technology where a child could see it, basically. So part of that is to make sure that they have guardrails around how companies design tools to make sure that they are efficient and they sort of meet not only the UK's privacy regulations, but also can meet regulations in the EU in terms of the GDPR. So it's really key for the alignment on a design level with these tools. So some examples of some of the principles in the framework, for example, is that like geolocation in apps aimed at people who are under the age of 18 should be turned off by default. So it shouldn't be on by default. So it shouldn't be a opt-out, it should be an opt-in for geolocation. They want to avoid technologies, what they call nudge technologies, which try to influence people to maybe take actions that were not or are not or will not be in the interest of that person's privacy. Putting things like parental controls, but also transparency. So they want to be able to have parents have some control over what content that children see, but then also have it so that the children know that this is actually happening. So a lot of this, we're seeing a lot of kind of framework talks and discussions coming out of Europe in general, not just the UK, but the EU. But we're hoping to see more design level conversations, because a lot of times when people are implementing, or let's say a company buys a technology that was built by someone else and they want to implement it, some of these features may be sort of baked in by default, which can be problematic, especially if you're just a user, not a developer of that tool. So having kind of that design level discussion, and also I think it's a good idea for companies, if you don't make products but you purchase products, making sure you go through this list to find out whether the technologies you're trying to implement have kind of these basic guardrails, so that you're not going to be in trouble with a particular regulator if that you have an audit or you're asked to give information about how a tool is basically used to implement it. So it remains to be seen how things will go with this. I think it's a great guide for anyone who's ever curious about kind of child appropriate or age appropriate at a design level, because that is kind of the best way to be able to head off privacy or cybersecurity issues at the very beginning before an app gets developed and these features get baked in to an application. That's it. Thank you.